Damp autumn mist hangs over the Amstel River on a chilly morning in 1700. Gray clouds press heavily against the stepped brick roofs of old Amsterdam. A cold wind sweeps off the Zuiderzee Sea. It drives heavy fog down the Zwanenburgwal Canal, where massive timber barges knock rhythmically against pine mooring posts set in dark water. Thick smoke from burning peat sods curls from red clay chimney pots. This rising haze smells of moist earth and settles over wet cobblestone slippery with fallen horse manure. In this quiet corner of the Jewish quarter, a tall four-story canal house stands silently near the riverbank. Small glass window panes reflect the soft pale light of early morning dawn. Behind those clean frames, skilled men lean over spinning iron plates to cut the hardest mineral known to humanity. They work in calm silence. Yet severe trouble brews across the European continent. In less than 2 years, King Charles II of Spain will die without leaving an heir. His death will trigger the War of the Spanish Succession. This major conflict will spread across Europe, break ocean trade routes, and throw the financial network of this Dutch trading empire into total chaos. Music high above wet cobblestones, this artificial intelligence reconstruction brings Amsterdam in the year 1700 back to life. Historians built this detailed visual model using real records and architectural plans from the Dutch Golden Age. Before we enter the historical workshop, please take a quick moment to subscribe to Rewind History and leave a like on this video. Your generous support helps bring more lost past worlds back into the light. Now, let us step past the heavy oak doorway together. We will witness the secret, blinding sparkle of raw Golconda diamonds. Under spinning, grinding wheels, master workers shape these rough gems into bright facets. You will see how simple craftsmen unlocked brilliant light from dark stone in the heart of Holland. Concentric rings of wide waterways shape the architectural layout of old Amsterdam. Frigates lower their heavy canvas sails at the busy harbor front. From the waterfront, the city opens outward along channels dug into soft peat soil. Strong stone ramparts topped with wooden windmills protect the outer edges of the settlement. Moving past the fine mansions of the Herengracht, streets grow narrow and dense in the eastern district. Here along St. Antonisbriestraat and the Zwanenburgwal Canal, thin brick houses stand side by side. They lean slightly forward over the water. Builders rested these tall homes on long spruce timber posts driven deep into wet clay ground. The Diamond Workshop sits inside one of these red clinker masonry buildings. Solid mortar made of hydrated lime and river sand holds its sturdy structure together. The front facade rises 4 full stories toward a classic neck gable. At the peak, a sturdy hoist beam sticks out to lift heavy supplies straight from boats into attic storage rooms. Large window frames line the upper levels to catch maximum daylight. Workers set small panes of blown glass inside thin lead cane strips. Interior whitewash made from burned oyster shells coats the walls. This smooth surface reflects natural sunlight far into every room. A warm domestic hearth sits on the ground level. Beautiful blue and white Delft ceramic tiles line the fireplace. These porcelain pieces show pictures of Dutch warships and famous Bible stories. Opposite the fire pit, alcove beds are built into pine paneling. Straw mattresses inside these cozy nooks keep family members warm against cold drafts. Below the main floor, a cool stone cellar stores food for long winter months. Barrels of salted fish, vinegar, and pickled cabbage fill the dark underground space. At the very top of the house lies the polishing attic. Exposed oak beams support the high roof rafters. Over years of daily labor, olive oil and gray metal dust have soaked deep into the floorboards. The main workshop centers around a cast iron scaife wheel mounted on a spindle set into a sturdy workbench. Leather drive belts connect the iron rod to a wheel turned by foot pedals. Sharp smells fill the air. Whale oil lamps burn brightly alongside sweet olive fat mixed with fine diamond powder. Above these scents hangs the loud shriek of raw diamond grinding against metal, mixed with pedal thumps and church bell chimes. Apprentices awake long before dawn inside cold attic nooks beneath sloping roof rafters. At 4 o'clock in the morning, dark shadow covers the quiet canal outside. The young worker shivers in the chill air. He strikes a piece of steel against hard flint. Small sparks land on dry tinder to light a brimstone match. With this flickering flame, he kindles the iron stove using peat sods and pine scraps. Soon, a warm haze fills the room. Downstairs, the housemaid unbars the heavy front door. She grabs a bucket and broom to scrub the stone stoop with river water and white sand. Local city rules demand clean doorways every morning. A clear social order exists under this single roof. At the top sits the wealthy merchant investor, known as a conquistador. Many of these investors are Sephardic Jewish traders whose families escaped persecution in Spain and Portugal to settle along Jordan Bristrat. These merchants hold the credit and overseas connections needed to buy rough gems from foreign lands. Beneath the investor works the master cutter. He is a skilled artisan who understands the secret geometric rules of crystal planes and facet angles. Working alongside him are polishers from Poland and local Christian wheel turners. These turners operate foot pedals for 12 long hours each day. This busy workplace mirrors the ideas of famous philosopher Baruch Spinoza. He earned his living in Amsterdam by grinding optical lenses. Like Spinoza, these local craftspeople treated glass and hard mineral as a true science of light and shape. Cold rainwater splashing from a copper cistern starts the morning routine for the whole house. At 5 in the morning, workers and family gather near the kitchen pump. Everyone washes their hands thoroughly and dries them on clean linen towels. Any leftover grease on fingers can cause precision pliers to slip. After washing, the household pauses for morning devotions. In the master quarters, family members read a Hebrew psalm from a prayer book printed by Manasseh ben Israel. Meanwhile, Christian workers whisper devotions before starting their daily tasks. Clothes worn inside the workshop are simple and tough. They must withstand a constant spray of iron filings and oil. The master cutter wears a dark brown broadcloth doublet over a white shirt with a flat collar, protected by a thick oxhide leather apron tied around his waist. Polishers wear wool jackets, linen breeches tucked into long stockings, and canvas smocks stained with dark sludge. Workers wear wooden clogs near outer doorways to walk on wet cobblestones. But when they step into the workplace, they strip off clogs at the threshold. They put on soft felt slippers instead. This strict rule stops tiny quartz sand grains from tracking upstairs. A single stray sand grain could gouge a deep scratch across a fine diamond face. Women in the home manage the hearth while wearing warm petticoats, fitted stays, and linen caps pinned over their hair. Steam rises from loaves of dark rye bread as family and workers sit down at the pine kitchen table for breakfast. Early morning light colors the sky in soft purple and slate hues. The morning meal is simple and filling to power long hours of hard labor. The family shares a wooden board loaded with thick slices of rye bread, fresh butter from Friesland, and hard cumin-spiced Leiden cheese. Small trenchers hold smoked eel harvested from the Zuiderzee and pickled herring preserved in salt and bay leaves. Instead of drinking brackish city water, everyone drinks mild table beer called kleinbier. Brewed with hops and clean boiled water, this low-alcohol beverage offers healthy calories and stays safe to drink. While eating, the master cutter and merchant examine small leather pouches on the table. The rough gems inside these bags traveled thousands of miles across stormy oceans. Miners dug these octahedral diamonds out of river gravels near the Krishna River in Golconda, India. Indian traders carried the raw stones by ox cart to coastal ports like Goa. Next, Portuguese carracks carried them around Africa, or Dutch East India Company frigates brought them from Batavia to Holland. After long months at sea, Merchants unloaded the rough gems at Amsterdam docks, paid customs taxes, and bought them at public auctions inside the merchant exchange on the Rocken. 3 separate skilled trades, cleaving, brooding, and polishing, form the core work inside the shop. The cleaver starts the process. His difficult job demands steady hands and deep knowledge of crystal structure. He inspects the rough gem under a glass flask filled with clear water. The water bottle acts as a magnifying lens. If the stone has internal flaws, he must split it along natural growth planes. The cleaver mounts the diamond onto a wooden stick using warm jeweler's cement made of resin and brick dust. Using a sharp splint glued to another stick, he cuts a narrow groove across the top. He places a thin steel blade into the slot and strikes the back of the blade with a boxwood mallet. If his math is correct, the gem splits cleanly into 2 smooth pieces. A single mistake shatters the rare gem into useless powder. Next, the brooder shapes the stone into a round form through mutual friction. He mounts 2 diamonds onto turning spindles. By cranking a small lathe, he presses the gems against each other with strong force. The hard stones grind away rough corners until both acquire a smooth, round girdle. A brass box lined with velvet sits under the lathe to catch every tiny grain of fallen diamond dust, known as bort, which is far too valuable to lose. Cast iron scaife wheels turn dull stones into glowing gems during the final polishing stage. The polisher takes a rounded stone and sets it firmly into a solder dop. This dop is a small half-round metal cup filled with molten lead and tin. Using iron pliers, the worker manipulates soft solder around the gem while it cools. He leaves only a small surface exposed at the exact angle needed for faceting. Next, he clamps the dop into a wooden arm called a tang. This arm presses the diamond down against the spinning iron wheel. The flat plate spins at over 2,000 turns per minute, driven by the strong legs of the pedal turner. Before polishing, the worker covers the plate with a paste of crushed bort mixed with sweet olive oil. Because only a diamond can cut another diamond, tiny dust particles in the paste rub down the gem's surface layer by layer. Grinding creates intense heat. Within minutes, the solder cup becomes hot enough to sizzle. The polisher must lift the tang arm and cool the dop in a wooden bowl of cold water. During the 17th century, Dutch cutters mostly made simple rose cuts and table cuts. But by the year 1700, news arrives of a new Venetian cutting style called the brilliant cut. Developed in Venice by Vincenzo Peruzzi, this style uses 58 precise facets. The clever geometry traps incoming light inside the pavilion and bounces it back through the crown in a dazzling display of color and fire. Silence falls across the grinding attic when the clock hits 12 noon. The busy household gathers for their main meal of the day, known as middagmaal. The dining table smells of rich meat stew and tangy vinegar. The centerpiece is a heavy iron pot of steaming hutspot, a traditional Dutch winter dish made of boiled beef, yellow carrots, parsnips, and onions, seasoned with coarse sea salt and cracked black pepper. Platters of pan-fried plaice, crisp rye bread rolls, and jars of pickled gherkins sit alongside the stew. The master drinks Flemish ale while workers drink light beer. Table talk focuses on gem yields, carat weights, and market fluctuations. Workers weigh gems on delicate brass balance scales using small dried carob seeds called carats. This ancient weight system came down from early Mediterranean merchants. After lunch, work continues as golden afternoon light streams through northern windows. By 5 in the evening, twilight deepens over the canal. The attic grows too dark for precise work. Polishing under flickering candle flame is impossible because dark shadows hide small facet errors. The pedal worker slows his wheel to a stop. Artisans unhook drive belts to prevent stretching overnight and leave hot solder dops to cool in iron trays. Dim tavern lamps along the nest welcome master cutters and merchants after work ends. The men put on heavy woolen cloaks and wide-brimmed felt hats to walk down to local inns. Inside warm taverns lit by tallow candles and brass chandeliers, ship captains, merchants, and foreign stone dealers sit around heavy oak tables. They smoke white Gouda clay pipes filled with Virginia tobacco. They sip cold Geneva gin flavored with juniper berries. Conversations center on shipping news brought by packet boats from London and Hamburg. Men play cards and backgammon while arguing over stone prices and exchange rates quoted on the Amsterdam bourse. Meanwhile, back at the workshop house, young apprentices and journeymen finish their evening meal of thick pea soup, called snert, boiled with salted pork. They relax by the hearth fire. Some mend leather apron straps or whittle wooden spoons. Others listen as the master's daughter plays a soft melody on a wooden virginal keyboard instrument set against the tiled parlor wall. At 9 o'clock, the night watchman, called the clapperman, walks the canal streets outside. He shakes his wooden rattle against brick walls to reassure citizens that all is safe from fire and thieves. Iron-bound oak chests protect every loose diamond as night falls over the city. The master carefully collects all loose rough and finished gems, locking them inside a heavy chest hidden beneath his bedchamber floorboards. 3 separate brass locks secure the box. Downstairs, workers lock heavy wooden shutters over large windows with iron bars to stop night burglaries. One by one, candles and oil lamps go out. Only red embers of the peat fire glow behind the hearth screen. Attic air cools rapidly as the sharp smell of oil and iron dust settles over quiet wheels. This world of precision, patience, and artisan skill seems permanent, but major historical changes are coming soon. Within 2 decades, in the 1720s, Portuguese prospectors searching for gold in distant hills of Minas Gerais, Brazil, will find vast diamond deposits in riverbed gravels. This discovery will flood European markets with millions of new South American gems. India's ancient monopoly will break completely. Diamond prices will crash across Europe, forcing Amsterdam workshops to change their trade methods to process massive numbers of smaller stones. Centuries of historical municipal records allow us to rebuild this lost world today. Old tax rolls, guild records, and estate inventories from Portuguese Jewish families preserve every detail with breathtaking clarity. Archaeologists dredging the silted bottoms of Amsterdam canals have recovered physical items from this very era. They found small solder dops pitted by heat, worn iron scaife plates, clay pipe stems, and brass magnifying glass frames buried deep in river clay. These real objects connect us directly across 300 years to forgotten craftsmen. These men sat in cold attic rooms above wet canals, spending their lives searching for geometric perfection. As we step back into the shadow of history, we remember the enduring human drive to extract beauty from raw earth. Master cutters turned dark, unyielding stone into brilliant prisms of light that continue to shine long after the hands that carved them have returned to dust.